we're going to that glorious part of the year where we get basketball and we get football here. Eugene, enjoy it because it does not last long enough, but it is here. No, there's a conversation. Now, I don't think the conversation should be necessarily being had here of whether or not the Bucks look into trading Giannis, because I feel like really it'd be Giannis trading them. That's kind of where I'm at, because it's not necessarily you're saying. I'll let you kind of speak on it first, because you took the not to trade him side, which I'm going to take there to a certain degree, but I do believe there is a way that you got to do what you got to do. We'll let you know what. No, I'll start and then I'll let you end. Actually,
okay, go for it.
So I don't necessarily think that there is a situation, a reality, that if you're a team, you trade a guy like Giannis, because Giannis is the quintessential like team guy. He's there. He's been riding with you the whole time. He was there with you when you weren't looked at as a great team. Now look at you. Look at the team that you looked at now. You looked at as a winning organization. Not necessarily the same Bucks that I grew up with, you know.
Don't know.
And with a marquee player, with a winning organization, with a marquee player, like one of the more exciting players in the league. So I don't think there's a situation where you trade him. So I'm not necessarily arguing for trading Giannis, but there are times when I feel like the player is going to trade you, and it does happen to teams. And I think time and time again, teams got to be ready for it, Eugene, because there's a chance that Giannis says, you know what, guys, Dame's not here. I don't really like the way this thing's going, because people, you got to think about it. People have said that when you look at some of the other decisions that the organization has made in the past, whether it's with his brother or other people, they're saying, hey, some of the decisions in the past have been made with Giannis kind of front and center over there in mind. Like, hey, we're going to be trying to keep our guy happy.
Mm-hmm.
But Eugene, does there come a time when the guy gets unhappy and leaves you standing at the altar there? What do you do then if you're the team? Do you get ahead of this thing and then you say, hey, well, we got to try to get something? Does Giannis have a no trade? I have to look into his
no, I think
Giannis has a no trade.
Bradley Beal will be. I think Bradley will be able to go down as the no. They'd be the last player to have no trade clause. I guarantee it. Nobody is going to do that again.
Yeah, that. We need to do a segment on that alone. God. On Bradley Beal just sinking that no trade clause. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, so just having it brought up perpetually and having it Bradley Beal referenced as a reason, like, hey, man, we're not doing that again. You know, remember, right? No. You saw what happened with the Bradley.
You saw what happened. We're not saying you're Bradley, but we still. And listen, we'll try not to trade you to a bad team, but we cannot do a no trade clause with you or anybody.
So if that's the case, because think about it, Giannis is a model citizen, man. He is a guy of all people, in my opinion, who deserves a no trade clause because he's just a model citizen. He's been the guy. He's been riding with you this whole time. But let's just say that comes today. Now, I have to look at his contract to see where the extension is, see how, because pretty much the player is putting the team on. In the NBA, the player puts the team on the clock in the NBA. When you're a player like Giannis, you put the team on watch and you say, hey, you guys better get something.
Yeah.
Because I'm out of here. Now, that's my argument to whether I do think that the team, if they are because I blame a lot of teams when they do lose players like this for not being able to feel the temperature of the room, like not knowing that the guy is in your practice facility, the guy is with you all these times. He's on the plane, he's with you on the bus, he's eating meals, he's around you all this time, and you get no feel for if he's going to stay with you or not. Like you have zero feel for it, like zero indication, especially with a guy like Giannis who's been tenured there so long, and you throughout your entire time with him, you have no clue if the person's going to leave you or not. And then you're going to be left with nothing. I think that responsible teams get a feel with their athletes or with the superstar athletes and touch base with them and say, hey, how are things going? And you have realistic conversations, Eugene, and just so you can get a realistic roadmap of the direction of the franchise. Because sometimes you can just sit down as adults and say, "Hey, this is not working out." That's what the player could tell the team and say, "Hey, I'm not signing whenever this time comes. I'm not signing," and the team can kind of say, "Hey, forget that. There's no way we're trading you." But I think maybe you should start kicking the can or kicking the tires around somewhere. But that's just my thoughts. Not necessarily saying that you go and try to shop Giannis, which you don't. But if you feel like Giannis is shopping you, you might need to start having some tough conversations.
Yeah. Well, it's just everything he's said so far, he's not indicated that he wants to go anywhere else, right? He's indicated that he wants to be there. They've been putting a team around him that's going to be competitive. They should kind of be that number 3, number 4 team in the East this year, just with him on that squad.
Is being in the East saving them right there? Because they're like, "Hey, we can build a competitive team in the East casually."
Right. When you've got Indiana, Boston, both those teams are going to kind of take a gap year this year, right? They're lost
for sure.
Stars,
star players out.
Right, and then your main 2 teams is going to be the Knicks and Cleveland. So here's the thing, it makes it harder to trade guys when he makes this contract this size, right? You've got to make sure you're matching the contracts, and also if I'm Milwaukee, I'm trading him. I don't want another player, right? I want maybe some players, but I want some picks in this,
Man, I want picks and your players, bro. I want both.
Right.
If I'm getting a guy like Giannis, I'm getting a good portion of your team and your future. I'm going to take your now and a good portion of your future.
Right. And the thing is, I keep the rumor or the big hot team everyone keeps talking about is the Knicks. Well, the Knicks don't have any assets. They gave it all up, right? They gave all their assets when they brought in, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. When they brought in
Thompson,
not Thompson, but the guy from
no,
they brought it from Phoenix. I can't think of his name. Why can't he's drawing a blank? But anyway, they brought him in. I'll look it up while we're talking. But
you mean Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges, thank you. When they brought Mikal Bridges,
yeah, because Mikal Bridges, that's because he came from. He didn't come directly from Phoenix. He came from Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, right? So they traded. So New York traded a boatload of picks to them. Now again, Brooklyn has the picks. They can and they also have a couple of contracts, right? They could mix and match for Giannis. But if I'm honest, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to that Brooklyn. I don't want to go to that New York team. I want to go to the other New York team. So
for sure.
But the other New York team doesn't have. They have the assets to make the contracts work, but they don't have the picks. And I think that's where, if you're Milwaukee, what are you gonna do if this thing goes sideways? Because he's done right by your franchise. He's stuck with you. You don't want to trade the guy to a team he doesn't want to go to. Like, you want to make sure he signs off on him, because you don't want to. Not only do you not want to make him mad, you don't want to make the agent mad, who represents a lot of other players, who's going to be like, no, don't go there, because see what he did to my star player. And you're not a star player. Imagine what they'll do to you. So you don't want to burn so many different relationships. And then if you're Milwaukee, you still want to. You're not a free agent destination. Like, you homegrown this guy from the draft, and that's what you're gonna have to do next if you want to continue to build a winning team again in Milwaukee. So I don't know. He does have, like I said, he just signed that 3-year. He has 3-year extension. He has a player option in 27, 28. So there's no urgency to trade him this year, right? Until you get to that free agency year, that player option year. And that's where he's like, is he going to pick it up, or does he become a free agent, like you said, and go?
What do you think about 26, 27, man? I really feel like you got to start to really think about things around there.
Next season, right?
And when I say think about things, beg him to stay. That's right. The things you start to think about. You start to get your money together, get whatever you got to get your pitch together, whatever you feel you need to say or do. And then you're pretty much just being prepared to try to keep beg the guy to stay every year at this point.
Right? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because he's already done you a solid for being around this long. Because a lot of in today's NBA, where a lot of guys jump around, the guy's already done you a solid. You can't, if the guy decided that he wanted to leave to go to another team next year, you wouldn't even be able to blame the guy. Like, what would you better say to him? He wasn't loyal. He wasn't down. Like, no, he stayed around in a team that wasn't named LA or New York for a good portion of his career. And there's a chance. I think Milwaukee has a chance to keep him for all of his career if they continue to do the things. If they continue to field the great teams. So as the season is just now starting, I think contractually they do need to start trying to back the Brinks truck up to him again. Right? Because he's what? Is he early 30s? Is he in his 30s yet?
Turned 30. He's 30 right now.
30 right now? Yeah, it's Brinks truck time. Spring truck, man. Let's run another 5, bro. Easily. Right? We can take that thing to 35 in today's NBA.
Right. And that's when that'd be his decision, right? Do I do the player option or decline the player option and sign back with Milwaukee for a higher number, like what you're saying, which all indications the salary cap's going to go up. So these numbers are going to look crazier and crazier, but that's just what's going to happen. But
people are signing shorter and shorter contracts, man. He could take a 2-year. He could take the deal, keep the deal he has now.
Yeah.
Take that thing, add another 3 years to that, right? Still be 35 and ready for another contract.
Right. Or
do another 3 years and be ready for another contract. If somebody wants to take a 35 to 38, you know what I mean? Because I think 30 to 35, you're still money, in my opinion. Like, you could take the deal where you're into that year, you finish this deal out, you're what, 32? You do another 3-year deal.
Or you do LeBron.
Trying to negotiate another 3-ish. If you're LeBron, and you can go another 5 or 6.
No, I'm saying you do the LeBron contract where you do like it's a 2-year, but the second year is a player option. You pick it up.
Yeah, because then that puts a lot of flexibility in the player's hands, especially if you're a player like LeBron, where you don't even know if you want to play altogether. You know what I mean? Because I was like, hey, I might not even. I don't even know if I want to play altogether, man. So I'm just gonna
yeah,
keep it moving there. We'll see. Luckily, I think that it's a situation where you got a guy who wants to stay more, shown every indication that he wants to stay more than leave throughout his career. And if the Bucks keep showing that they'll do good by him, it looks like that he'll be retiring and ready to retire. But I think that could be a long time to set coming, right? It can be years out. So you never know from retirement. It's hard. I'm trying to think now with a lot of players, do the players even retire with the teams that draft him? I mean, Kobe did, right? Kobe's retired.
Kobe's the one that
drafted him. Tim Duncan, right?
Timmy's
Tim Duncan never played for another team.
Curry looks like he's going to stay with Golden State. I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah, it would be weird to see Curry in another uniform. He looks like he's on track for that, right?
Yep.
Who else in that era would you say is on track to retire with the same team? I don't know. It's not many guys. He would join a very few, right? You join a few guys if he did it.
Yeah, and plus, we don't. A lot of the foreign players don't request trades. Like Luka did.
Yeah, we
not
talked about that on the show quite a bit. Yes, you usually get a guy. You can usually keep him for a good amount of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would have to come from him, and I just don't see it. I mean, he wants to. I think he just wants to make sure he has a competitive team around him. I think if he has that, he's happy. But I don't know. Is he just happy with that going to playoffs, or is he? I mean, he just strikes me as
once you taste the amount. Once you've been there, do you think does it make you want it more or less? Like, once you've been there, you fall back and say, "Hey, well, I've already kind of, I've been on the mountaintop." You know what I mean? So I'm pressed, but my legacy's kind of there. I'm not really super pressed. Or is it a situation where you're like, I've been there and I know I can get back? You know what I mean? Like, I know I can get back there. I know what it takes to get there. And then you get a feel for whether your team, maybe start looking at your team, right, Eugene? And analyzing it more from a technical standpoint, like, hey, I knew what it took to get to it then. And now I can look at the team I have now and evaluate that better.
Right.
Whenever he is evaluating it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be fascinated to watch him this season. I mean, because he's just like, the thing about him, he's one of the most competitive superstars we have. And so it all comes down like, okay, if they have a good season and they leave, if they have an early exit, and this would be like, okay, what's his mindset if they, let's just say they go out in the first round or second round. I mean, is he going to be like, okay, I think I'm ready to go? Or is he going to go back? Okay, or is he going to go back to the front office? Okay, we got here. what are the other pieces are you going to build around me? Because like you said, he's a superstar. And he wants players around him. Like you can't, like he had something to do with that Dame trade. He had something to do with Miles Turner coming into being signed. So he's that's every superstar. Every superstar is going. I don't care if they say, oh, I don't have the conversations. I don't believe that. Somebody's running something by you to make sure you're okay with it. I mean, somebody saying,
right. Could you imagine?
Right?
Like
No,
you making being a guy who's like sitting in an office somewhere and you make a decision that runs off a guy like Giannis or a superstar. No, of course. I'm going to ask everybody. Right. I'm going to ask everybody around you how they feel about it.
Yeah. That's the first person I'm asking. Hey, Giannis, we're going to bring in this guy. What do you think? I don't like him. Oh, there. Okay. Then I think we need to go. And then what?
That's
What's
your
the
answer,
reason?
right?
Right.
The guy's never coming here.
Never coming here. That's right. That's it. We're done. No. So it'll be fascinating to watch this season and then where they get up playoffs wise and what happens after that.
It's just the stats. Reggie Johnson, Eugene Morton. Check us out. Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. Also, check out our YouTube channel as well. I think we have some shows snippets on that channel as well. So check us out there. That's really like an awkward exit on that YouTube, man. I got to work on that, man. That's just not worked into my situation here, Eugene. I'm going to think about that and come back there stronger with a stronger YouTube exit here for
That's
the
right.
next show.
We're working on it, man. We got to the end of the year to get it.
I'll get it tight. I get that tightened up.
Tighten up, right?